At 2 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon, I was drunk. Not tipsy, not buzzed. Blackout drunk. The taste of copper filling my mouth. Because that's what fear tastes like when you're blackout drunk behind the wheel, watching red and blue lights fill your rearview mirror. Leading the Ann Arbor police on what might have been the world's slowest police chase. I was 25 years old. I was already a financial advisor at American Express. I had just closed the biggest deal of my career that morning. But by 2:30, I was in handcuffs. Again. And when I got home after another long night in jail, the first thing I did was pour a drink. You know what's strange about rock bottom? It's the only place where you see things clearly. But that night in handcuffs wasn't even my rock bottom. I was drinking a liter of alcohol every night, 2 pots of coffee each day, taking 30-second naps at every single red light. And every morning, I was fighting off suicidal ideation. My liver was screaming, my heart was racing, and my brain was composed of symphonies of destruction. I was simultaneously the most productive and the most self-destructive person in any room. For 15 years, I used an undiagnosed mental illness to build a career that should have killed me. The diagnosis was bipolar 2. The medication I take for bipolar disorder changed everything. My 20-hour days became 8. My grandiose vision vanished. I went from Tony Stark to Tony Stagnant. I started to suck. But it forced me to systematize what I had been doing intuitively, to weaponize my wiring, to turn mental illness into a business methodology that anybody can use. The patterns that were destroying me personally were the exact same patterns that I saw in dying companies. Sometimes the most valuable thing that you can do for something you love is kill what's killing it. These pills almost ended my career because I forgot what it meant to focus ferociously. Now they remind me that the most dangerous thing in business isn't your competition. It's your calendar. A billionaire had shown me the answer, but I was too busy being busy to see it. 5 a.m. in a diner with cracked vinyl seats and coffee that could strip paint. He said, "Show me your calendar." And I showed him proudly 31 meetings in a single day. 31. And he looked at my calendar like I'd just shown him a photo of my pet tarantula wearing a tutu. He said, "That's not a calendar. That's a confession. A confession that you don't know what matters." And then he showed me his calendar. 3 things. 3 things for a billionaire's entire day. Poor people add, rich people multiply, and billionaires subtract. But I was addicted to addition. Meeting mania made me feel mighty. When the medication took away my manic edge, I substituted meetings for methodology, and I mistook busy for breakthrough. Meetings about meetings, emails about emails. And that's when I realized I hadn't lost my edge. I had buried it under bullshit. $400 billion, that's what Americans burn annually on unproductive meetings. We could buy Norway with what we waste in conference rooms. Your biggest competition isn't Amazon, it's your addiction to yesterday. Comfort is the serial killer of companies. Comfort smells like conference room coffee. It sounds like we've always done it this way. It tastes like yesterday's success, but it feels like a warm blanket on a burning building. I bought a company in COVID that was already dead, hosting quarterly funerals that they called board meetings. We murdered comfort before it murdered us, and I sold it for double 3 years later. The difference between dying companies and thriving ones isn't strategy. It's comfort tolerance. Right now, there's a 26-year-old founder who is building your replacement. They're praying you'll stay comfortable for just 6 more months. Blockbuster's executives weren't stupid. They just loved their late fees more than they feared Netflix. Tick. That's Kodak dying. Tock. That's Blockbuster dying. Tick. That's Sears dying. Tock. That's your company dying. Tick tock. Tick tock. Comfort is corporate poison. It is a corporate serial killer. And most companies are 3 drinks in. Here's what hundreds of millions of dollars in transformations taught me. Psychological safety. It's where performance goes to die. We don't need safety. We need strategic stress. The Navy SEALs don't create warriors through comfort. They create them through shared suffering. Consensus. That's corporate cowardice. Steve Jobs didn't seek consensus. He created reality. The Roman Empire wasn't built by committee. Neither was any empire that ever mattered. Your company is dying. The question is, are you the disease or are you the cure? Remember how I got home from jail and poured another drink? Your company will go home Monday and take another shot of stagnation. You think you're just one person, but so was the engineer at Kodak who invented digital photography. One employee with courage and one company without. That's Uber scaling while taxi companies protected medallions. Tick. That's Amazon shipping while Sears celebrated their real estate portfolio. Tock. That's your lunch being eaten by a 26-year-old in a garage who doesn't give a shit about your industry experience. You think you have time? Kodak had 131 years gone. Toys R Us had 70 years gone. Blockbuster had 25 years gone. Now, if I can stand here telling you about my lowest moment in a voice that sounds like I swallowed a kazoo, you better be able to follow me as I show you how this connects to your company's survival. Because it was at that moment that I made a discovery that would generate over $200 million in value across 4 turnarounds. We had thousands of SKUs, hundreds of customers, but just 4% drove all the profit. Everything else was negative. So we killed 60% of our SKUs. We fired 10% of our customers. Revenue went up 50% and profits doubled. Less literally created more. If you had 24 hours to save your company, what would you do first? If that is so important, then why haven't you done it yet? Your company's obituary has already been written. Now go delete it before it deletes you.